Hello and welcome to Berlin for the opening round of Season 6 of the EERC Formula E Championship. My name is Edward Hunter and I'm joined by the man who finished third place. Was it third place? Was it joint third place in Season 5 last season, Nick?
Oh, it was quite a long time ago.
Yeah, I think Pascal might have just missed out to you, so I'm pretty sure you finished third, but I remember it being quite close. But anyway, we'll talk about who actually won the championship last year as well, because I don't think we've actually addressed it on stream yet. But I'm of course talking with the one, the only Nick Homewood is helping us run the broadcast today, and so the new season starts in Berlin. We have a huge grid that we've had to whittle down here. 48 drivers signed up, and I think we're grateful to each and every one of them. Unfortunately, in order to make sure we don't end up with a destruction derby, which we did get here last year, if you remember, even though we're now using the reverse layout in this particular occasion, we've had to split the grid into two grids, essentially. So one race today, another race tomorrow that won't be broadcast, and there'll be the fastest 20 today, or at least that's the intention. We've only got 19 at the moment. Perhaps Axel Guzman will make an appearance later on, maybe. But we've still got 19 others, so we definitely got quite a lot of excitement to look forward to at the start of the season, haven't we, Nick?
We do indeed. We've already had the pre-qualifying session. We had that yesterday, so we know who's got into grid 1 and who didn't make the cut. Qualifying has already started. We're just waiting for the cars to actually go onto the track. So
they're waiting for the best track conditions, of course.
Should we do the lap?
We have got the groups as well. Yeah, let's get the onboard lap then with the one, the only James Guber from the new team, Hunter Birch Simulation. So there we go. That's the lap then. So thanks for putting that on for us, Nick. So that was James Guber's best lap. I believe it was a 106.7, which was his best lap.
We've already got cars on the track, actually.
We do, yes. We've got first 5 across the line. And wouldn't you know it, James Guber has currently set the fastest time, 107.5 afterwards. So we were just watching his earlier lap, and now we see a not quite as quick lap, but still a pretty impressive run. There he is in the black and green Hunter Birch simulation car. Now, you might find that name familiar for two reasons. One, that's the same team that's wrapped up the EERC British Touring Car Championship this season. The bane of Nick's existence, no doubt, in the Finn of Honda car. It's also, Hunter is, of course, my last name, so it's technically, not just technically, it is absolutely my team, technically and the sort of real sense, in fact, in terms of practically as well. So, of course, which I co-own with Joshua Birch, who of course can't be here today because tennis is overrunning, as we see Guber just having to have another go turning into the turn 2 hairpin, which could be a real overtaking spot in the race. We've got quite a few here that sort of open up as we see the rear end just stepping out.
And he's purple in 601.
There we go. So he's certainly 106.8 was his previous lap. So Guber's still finding only about a tenth of his best time. Bram Kupiers is about a second away from him, 107.8 in the BMS.
Lost a tenth and a half in the middle sector. That was that oversteer.
Yeah, so Coopers in the VMS, I believe it's Coopers in VMS Black, number 44, who's running second. We've got Josh Hughes for another new team, XRL Esports, who's about half a second behind Coopers. As we look there, Coopers, it's actually VMS Red, I think.
Yes.
He dies for, of course. As evidenced by the massive red halo we are watching at the moment, as he powers out of the final corner, and it looks like he might just improve, get that little bit closer to Juber's current best time. He does not. Okay.
We got quite a spread there, haven't we? 2.7 seconds.
Yeah, but only 6 drivers out on track at the moment. Couple of really exciting ones to look out for, of course. VMS Sun Edits have got some very big hitters here.
Improves to third.
Yeah, there is Jarno Hermans for the second VMS Sun Edits racing red car.
Yep, VMS Orange.
Orange, of course, yes, not red. It's a very reddish orange.
It is.
What caught me out. That's all the VMS guys have gone for similar sort of liveries, which is slightly confusing. But yeah, VMS Orange, which of course I believe it's VMS Yellow, which is how Sonneveld are the reigning champions at the moment, along with Into the Points Racing, of course.
Yeah, it's a complicated situation.
It was a complicated situation the way last season ended, with the last round having to be abandoned, and very sportingly, both Joshua Hamilton and House Sonneveld decided to share the title. Sonneveld has come here today to defend it. Josh Hamilton, I believe, can't make it for whatever reason, as we see Herman's really through like that looks like a 8 and 9, just really hustling the 82.
Yeah, he
VMS Orange.
He's looking a bit down on his lap time though. I don't know if he's going to improve or not.
Yeah, just a little bit of wheel spin out of the final corner. But here we go, the Dutch car powers towards the line. What's it going to be for Jarno Hermans? He goes towards second, there we go. Just under a second away from Guber. So Guber has currently set the pace. At the other end of the table, down in 6th, is Tom Dillon, who has set a 109.0. But he was saying his previous times were 110s. And Tom Dillon has kind of been quite lucky to... he will hate me saying this. He's been fairly fortunate to sneak in because... I believe he had set maybe the 25th, 28th fastest time or something on that lines as we look at Pascal Eggert just driving past attack mode, which will become very crucial come the race, but it's pretty much just kind of window dressing as far as qualifying is concerned. But Dylan, I believe, because a couple of drivers who qualified ahead of him decided they wanted to do Grid 2, which is not only not broadcast, but also has less points on offer, but you've probably got a better chance of scoring the bigger points in Grid 2 than the smaller points at the end of Grid 1.
Essentially how it works is it's one big grid of, we'll say, 46 cars. So if you finish 20 or first in the second grid, that is, you get the points for 21st overall. So you're scoring lower than everyone else who finished in Grid 1.
Did you get the glory of winning that race?
You did.
Look at Pascal Eggert getting a very, very early turn in there. I've not seen anyone take that line before, but Pascal, ever the pioneer, not only running the championship, deciding to... we have got that new track evolution thing, isn't it? What is it called? The live road, isn't it?
Yes.
So maybe Pascal knows something we don't. But, that doesn't look like a racing line to me. That looks like
I don't think that's
just a rear stepping out.
There's a bit of suspension in the track.
Oh dear. Of course, Pascal Eggert was running second in last year's race at the other layout. The sort of endurance layout here, I guess, if we call it, if we're going in Bahrain terms, in Berlin. They both begin with a B, don't they? But, of course, he crashed out from that race while running in second behind House Sonneveld. So, and then had to sort of gingerly make his way back to the pits and I think finished 12th or 15th or something. It was really to sort of put Pascal on the back foot in that championship last year when he was sort of in the mix in Season 4, which, of course, is run by Michael Koch, who I believe is out there.
He is back today, yes.
Yes, I don't see him. I see Nick Conan in 4th at the moment, which is pretty good, and Pascal has actually just set a lap behind that as Gashi goes back up to 3rd.
Yeah, Koch goes 10th. So maybe a bit.
It seems we've abandoned the group qualifying because it seems like we're just letting everyone out at the moment.
No, this is.
This is Group 2.
This is Group 2.
Okay, right. Okay, so.
We've got 3 groups.
So Guber was the fastest in the first group from Hermans, Coopers, Hughes and Stianzi. And we see Superpole at the moment is made up of Guber, Hermans, Gashi, we talked about just getting to 3rd, Coopers, Nick Conan, I believe Eggert. Is Nick Conan or Eggert? Is there a 6th or the top 5?
It's top 5.
Okay, so
Nick is the...
I've been calling him Nick, but that's you, of course. So.
Yeah, it's Nick.
I'll try
but we've still got Sonneveld to go, obviously. So.
Yes, and Koch is actually setting some personal best times at the moment. His sort of first sighter lap was 2 seconds off the pace. But these are looking like pretty competitive sector times from Michael Koch. 23.6, 17.8 in the set. So not absolute Guber pace, but he's looking Gashi Cooper's sort of as he crosses the line. And goes 9th actually, so quite a way off.
I think, fun fact, Max Stiassny is Barry Benson, if you remember from...
Barry B. Benson. So is that his real name?
Yes.
Well, it looks like Max is someone who likes to imitate take the names of cartoon characters. We might see that as over the course of the season. He might turn up to London named as like Bugs Bunny or just whatever animated film is out at the moment. So, well, I don't know, his name's after one of the Minions.
Yep, Kevin, Dave.
Anyway, here's Gashi. He's coming up to some traffic and not on a particularly quick time either in the VMS red.
Let's have a look at... Should we see what's Pascal up to? Yeah.
Oh, he's sliding the rear out. Look at that through the final sector here.
Nick goes second with a...
Ooh, great lap from the Finnerbond Motorsport purple driver. Yeah, 8 tenths behind Guber's time. And of course, Guber didn't have the sort of disadvantage of having the worst track conditions. I believe the group draw was fairly random because Sonneveld got put in the final group.
The draw was who signed up, the order people signed up in.
Okay. Conan continues to push the rear out through that sort of turns 3 and 4 section.
Yeah, he's down half a second already on that one.
Yeah, the time slipping away then, just as the rear is slipping away. We are getting to the end of Group 2 then, and I believe...
That's not gone well.
And that's Koch crashing out. There we go. Koch usually such a neat and tidy driver, so clearly pushing to try and get into Superpole, and it's not worked out. Michael Koch will start at best in 10th then.
So I think Pascal and Gashi, although Gashi's not going to improve on that one, so...
Chris Service is on some personal best sectors.
Yeah.
Might threaten Michael Koch here as actually Lahoven gets up to 8th, I believe. And here's Zervas, a new driver for Finnerbond, I guess replacing Unic. He comes towards the line now, top 5. There we go.
Very nice.
Displaces Bram Coopers. Zervas really showing why he's in the squad then.
So, Group 3 are coming out now. Yeah, they're all queuing at the pit exit.
So, I believe we may only have enough drivers for Group 3 then.
Yeah, we haven't got a Group 4 today.
Yeah, because we haven't got that magical 20th driver to even it out. I think maybe a consequence of the group. There's Sonneveld we're on board with at the moment, getting really badly held up by that looks like Michael Steffel, and is that one of the Lastant Racing? Oh, it's Peter Schumann. No, not Peter Schumann. It's Stefan Goscht, of course.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on here. It's a bit like
looks like Goscht is holding them both up, and now Sonneveld swaps with Steffel. And there we go. Looks like
a race to me.
Stefan Goscht is practicing entering attack mode, so it's good to do that. As Zervas, I believe, is he finishing another lap here, or is he going back?
He's been disqualified.
Yeah, he's tried to do an extra lap in there, so that's bad because Zervas was actually in the top 5, and he's been put back in.
I think that was probably just to get him off the track.
That was him being pitted then.
Yeah.
His time's been restored, and let's see. Sonneveld slows right down then to prepare, and so does Steffel right behind.
Sonneveld on board.
We've also got Luca Gray in this group, who I believe was the last man in the top 20. His time was essentially the cutoff time until a couple of guys ahead decided they probably weren't going to last too well in the race in Grid 1. As Sonneveld, the wheel coming off, and he gets a little bit of tailspin at the exit of turn 1. Such a tricky corner to get the brakes.
Understeer and oversteer in the same corner.
There we go. Yeah, this VMS yellow car does not look the best set up then. Might be quite a challenge. 23.3 in the first sector, so that is sort of Herman's Gashi sort of area. So looking good for Superpole potentially.
Tap the wall.
Yeah, the wall getting and again, and that looked like a very big hit actually. He did well to hold on to that one. But Sonneveld, always spectacular to watch, and certainly he's been dropped in the middle of a difficult lap here for the start of this new season. At least he hasn't got Joshua Hamilton to worry about for the time being. But we could see Hamilton become a factor later on if the drop score is still the rule, I believe.
It is, yes.
There we go.
And Hamilton is the one with number 1 on his car.
True. But his teammate Michael Steffel is the one with the legendary number 27 as well. As there we go, Peter Schumann, I believe, first across the line in this group, and now comes Sonneveld into the top 3. So that should be him comfortably through into Superpole, but it pushes Zerves out, of course, and puts Gashi on the bubble then. So it is 3 VMS cars, 1 Finnerbond.
Gray up to 5th.
Oh, but the 360 of Luca Gray, and there we go, with black and blue, with the big CDR sponsorship on the side, and the Gray, of course, 360 a winner in endurance racing in EERC, and Luca Gray putting in a very, very strong display so far to just sneak in by a very, very fine margin. Look at the gap between himself and Gashi, 0.038 of a second.
There's what? I think 4 cars there within a tenth. 5 from Hermans to Kuipers is just over a 10.
Yes, and Michael Steffel didn't have the best of first laps, 107.9, could improve. We've seen Michael Steffel get into Super Bowl on many occasions before, not quite got the same one-lap speed.
Is improving?
Yeah, Michael Steffel I don't think quite has the exact same one-lap speed that Josh Hamilton has, but he's still incredibly quick, and we saw a few collisions, a few bits of bad luck sneak into his campaign last season, but he did still really impress in quite a few races. And here we go, across the line, that doesn't improve, remains 9th, I believe, just ahead of Pascal Eggert.
And a bit of a drift to celebrate.
Josh, in the last stint racing, is by far the slowest in this third group, sort of fighting with Tom Dillon and Peter Schumann. And in fact, looks like Gosh has had a lap time deleted because he's back to 18th now.
Oh, Sonneveld in the wall again. He can't seem to improve on this lap time.
Yeah, so I was just a bit confused trying to figure out what happened there, because Gosh looked like he was 17th. Might have been someone else being adjusted, giving a lap back in the session or something. But, oh, maybe it was Schumann going up to 15th. Maybe
yeah,
that's why I'm confused. Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
Gosh
so
improves in the middle sector as Steffel gets very close to the wall on the exit of, that looks like, turn 8 and 9. Through the final corner, and it's such a long final corner as well. Of course, most people are used to it being the first corner. But
Sonneveld up to 2nd.
There we go. So Sonneveld only about 7 tenths behind Guber, and that really shows the job that Guber did in the first group. As Steffel remains down in 9th then, so we are running out of laps here. Everyone's probably only going to get 1 or 2 more runs at best.
Yep.
Luca Gray holding on in there. It's basically him versus Steffel really for that fun.
Oh, that's not going to do his suspension any good.
Oh, certainly not. But the 360 driver not leaving any time on the table. It's slow, isn't it? I guess with Iris leaving, and of course Tobias Bloomshine, who was another one that I was surprised to see miss out actually. I think he was just behind Tom Dillon, so he... Oh, as Luca Gray slides in, and looks like the steering and suspension have really taken quite a hammering in this lap.
Yeah, he's up, but I think he's going to lose time through this last sector.
Yeah, he's going to feel it so badly through this final corner. And the traction just coming in though. Let's see what the time will be from Luca Gray. He's in Superpole already, and he improves a little bit to a 107.7. So he's even closer to Hermans, but not enough to overcome. So that's 0.018, the gap between himself and Hermans.
Sonneveld didn't improve.
Yeah, Sonneveld has the word Son written on the on the top of the halo, and of course he's a bit like the sun in that he's bright yellow, I guess, and setting the timing screens alight. But I think that will be it from everyone apart from...
Lap. Oh no, yeah, everyone's gone.
Yeah, and Steffel, of course, abandoning at the same time as Luca Gray. So, your grid provisionally is going to be, until Super Bowl starts, it will be Guber, Sonneveld, Conan, Hermans, Gray. So Gray will be out first for Super Bowl. Behind him, the grid is set. Gashi will start 6th, Zerves 7th, Cooper's 8th, Steffel 9th, and Eggert will round out the top 10. So we'll go through the full grid once Super Bowl has been completed. Certainly, Gashi a little bit... just missing out there. I'm sure he'll be a little bit annoyed that Luca Gray got the better of him there. But we'll see what Gray can do now his car's been repaired in double time.
Got some good mechanics.
Yeah, the 360 team, it's sort of round-the-clock service. I seem to remember the 360 team crashing a lot in endurance in years past. I mean, Interlagos, where Jordi Rankin flew into the air in the LMP1. That was quite a repair job. As we see Luca Gray, I thought he was going to try and take attack mode there, but that wouldn't have done him any good because it's not really active at the moment.
Just trying to warm up the tyres. Don't want to take out any life from them though.
And this could be a very, very good debut for 360 Motorsports if they can get some big points here in this opening round. Could set Luca Gray up well in the title race. But a long way to go as the wall beckons. Thankfully, didn't look like there was too much damage there. That was just a nudge, just to see how. As again, he goes really wide, actually, out of the final corner. But that's just him setting up the entrance to his flying lap. So take us through it, Nick, as he goes right towards the wall.
Okay, so being it to the outside for turn 1, as close to the wall as you dare. Yep, just about got it turned in. And then again, close to the wall on the exit. Braking in about the 50. Yep. Very steep, just about made it. Again, very close to the wall on the exit.
Yeah, the apex was getting away from him there.
This corner's nearly flat out, maybe a small lift, tap of the brakes.
3 and 4. This is, I believe, where Gray hit the wall in the qualifying earlier in the
leaving
group
nothing
stage.
On the table, and he's up.
Up on his personal best, of course, but this will be the banker time, the provisional time, as he climbs up through the speed. I was going to say through the gears, but there's only really one gear on this car.
Yep. And then this is a very technical section. Get it slowed down, get it turned in. Bit of a wiggle on the rear, won't cost him much time.
6 and 7, such a tricky entrance to get the braking down because you're sort of turning and braking at the same time. But here we go, we're already at the final corner, Nick. And this has the
too tight.
And the rear spin as well on exit, so really trying to avoid disaster there.
Yeah, a bit of a
what will this be for
sector.
Luca Gray? 107.318, and that puts him second fastest of the time set overall so far. But now Jarno Hermans, I believe, is out and about to start his lap.
Yep. Already at the last corner, ready to go.
Got to beat that 107.317 by Luca Gray. And the VMS Orange starts his lap then and has to make sure he gets the braking spot on. Just has a little go. It doesn't look like he's got the best first corner there because he was a little bit tight and that compromises exit there, Nick.
Yes. See how it does?
And once again wide. It's like a... I'm not sure what nationality he is. I was about to call him Herman the German there, but I'm pretty sure Jarno Herman's actually Dutch. So
yeah, I think
not the first time I've made that mistake actually. Like I called Michi Hoyer, who is infamous, very famous for being a successful German racer, Dutch, after he won the Indianapolis FSR round, which I've still not lived down. But anyway, here we go. Halfway through the lap, looks like Herman's is down, but needs to make sure he gets a good finish to the lap because we don't know what mistakes will happen later on in Superpole, of course. We still haven't got the duels format sort of figured out here in EERC, but
wouldn't really work. It'll be a lot of
hassle for not a huge amount of reward, I guess, to get the sort of live graphic between the two. Yep. But here we go, towards the line goes Jarno Hermans, and predictably it's not his best lap in the 108.3, so about a second away from where he needed to be. So that is the margin. It is Gray and Hermans then as Nick Conan starts his run, and actually has a pretty good first corner there. Conan could really spring a surprise here, couldn't he, Nick?
Yeah, it was very smooth. Got the apex here as well, so he's already doing better than Hermans.
Let's see what the Finnavon driver can do. I think it's been a while since the Finnavon driver started on pole. I don't believe it's actually happened.
It would have been Pascal, probably.
Almost certainly, it was with Pascal or Michael, I think. You got pretty close in one occasion. I only qualified second in Zurich once. Yeah. But anyway, Conan down on Gray, but I believe up on Hermans.
So it's half a second off pole time.
Yeah, he was slightly slower than Hermans in the second sector then, but a personal best in the middle sector. So it's very, very tight here. And actually he gets this final few corners wrong here. He was really offline there.
Yeah, it was quite a nice tidy lap up until that point.
Here we go, towards the line. Can he salvage something here? And Nick Conan powers towards the line. It is a 107.8. So ahead of Hermans. It was 108, wasn't it, for Hermans? But that's Gray still on pole at the moment. But here's the man that could displace him, Sonneveld. Oh, Sonneveld gets the wall. He got the braking really wrong there. The rear just slid into the wall. And that is really going to dent his confidence as there's somebody going offline. That must be the Hunter Birch of Guber about to do his final run as well.
This VMS car looks very skatey on the brakes.
Yeah, looks like Sonneveld has gone all out for 1 lap speed to try and get pole. And this could be a real handful to drive in the race.
Yes, I agree.
He is up in the first sector, so he didn't lose that much time.
He's matched Nick.
Yeah, but he's a 10th down on Luca Gray's time though, so far. Into the second sector. Oh, another 10th down on Gray. This is going to be very, very tight with Conan.
Again,
the reigning champion, the co-reigning champion, as awkward as that is to say. He has got 2 ones on his car, I guess.
Someone else needs 3 ones.
Exactly. Oh, look at that slide. That was a lovely controlled drift there, but will it be enough for Sonneveld? It's not going to be pole. Will it be second on the grid? No, Luca Gray has beaten him, so it's only Guber now that can take pole position away from 360 Motorsport. It's going to be a new team on pole position. Here we go, and the pressure will never be high on Guber, and he gets really wide into the first corner, and that has to collect himself and carry on. So it's not going to be undoable, but it's going to be a bit of an uphill struggle. Gets very well tucked into turn 2. So he's taking maximum risks here. So it's going to be pole or into the wall for James Guber, I fear. Returns 3 and 4. And it looks like he almost did it there. But there we go, survived. Much like Sonneveld himself.
Slower than Sonneveld. Sector 1, very slightly.
Yeah, so it's neck and neck really between him, Sonneveld and Conan then. Here we go into turn 6 and 7. Just up against the walls there. As he once again, he just looks a little bit on edge here. Doesn't seem to quite have the confidence he did in the group stage.
That was a bit tidier than Sonneveld.
Yeah, here we go. And until that
that's
point.
That's not going to help.
And again, he also has a real struggle on exit. It's almost like the tyres are really gaining temperature here. Towards the line he goes, and it will be a 107.2. So is that pole position then? I think it is, because he's just a 10th ahead of Luca Gray. He's really brought it back in the middle and final sector there.
Yes, I believe so.
So there we go. Fantastic lap by James Guber. Looked really not under control, but somehow he got the time out of it. And there we go. I'm already feeling very grateful that I made that higher. But anyway, Nick, shall we go through the final grid positions? So it is going to be James Guber for the very first time. And to be honest, his qualifying laps in EERC and Endurance, I remember a brilliant lap he did in the BMW at Le Mans in GD3, which really impressed me. I can go through the grid order even if we don't have the graphic on screen if you want. So it is James Guber starting on pole position with Luca Gray alongside him on the front row. Then it is House Sonneveld who will start third, the reigning champion. Then it is Nick Conan in fourth, a great starting position for Finn Avond. Jarno Hermans in the second VMS entry will start fifth. And then Gashi will start sixth from Zervas, Coopers, Steffel, Eggert rounding out the top 10. Then is Josh Hughes 11th for XRL Esports. So decent first effort for Josh Hughes. Joe Blahoven will start 12th for Finn Avond. Max Stienzi will start 13th for Into the Points Yellow. Michael Koch, our Season 4 champion, will start 14th after really not having a brilliant qualifying there, but plenty of places to gain in the race. Peter Schumann will start 15th. Jake Dowson for Macca Racing will start 16th. Tom Dillon and the second Hunter Birch will start 17th. Stefan Gosch will be 18th. And Leif Johansson will round out the field for Lastant Racing. or Lastant Racing.
Lastant.
So we have Stephen Gosch for Lastant in second to last. And Leif Johansson in Lastant. That's he saying it.
Yeah,
there we go. That's 3 ints. Got to remember that as the grid forms now. And wow. This is an exciting moment. Can James Guber win his first race in EERC Formula E? He's certainly going to have his hands full with Luca Gray and House Sonneveld. I think both of them are going to provide a big challenge. And let's not discount Nick Conan either.
Yeah, it's taking so long. Let's get going.
We got everyone on the grid then, so the countdown should start imminently, and we'll be getting our season underway. It's this season 6 finale. It's actually our first race here, but of course this is the map from the real life season 6 finale of Formula E. Of course, we've just had the season 8 finale. Everyone very excited to see the new Gen 3 car in action, of course, with its unique looks.
You can see the crowd on the side all looking away from the race.
Of course, and there we go. we're getting the lights on then, and we'll be underway in Berlin in just a few short seconds. And the season begins, and it looks like a decent getaway for Guber with Gray on the outside, and it looks like Conan has made a really good getaway and almost getting around the outside of Sonneveld, but just having to fall short. Now Sonneveld up the inside of Luca Gray to snatch second position. A brilliant first corner for House Sonneveld, but it's Guber that leads away as it's getting very congested behind it. Oh, Gray goes very, very deep into turn 2, and that could allow Nick Conan to attack.
Yep, I didn't quite get the overcut there.
There we go, so Nick Conan not quite able to take advantage, but the top 4 really pulling away for a little bit from Steppel
already retired from the race.
Oh dear, so after getting into Superpole, it's all gone wrong for Hermans at the first corner immediately. I think he might have got squeezed into the wall somewhere. But
I'm not sure why it's showing. I think Dowson's disconnected. I'm
yeah,
not sure why it's showing.
Schumann has also made a decent getaway to pass Hughes. Is that Dowson? Bit of a timing error there.
Yeah, I think he's disconnected.
Oh dear, so that's 2 out of the race already before the end of the first lap. But now, Sonneveld will focus on putting as much pressure as he can onto James Guber, because he is going to be the main threat here. Certainly not Jake Dowson, as the timing screen would have you believe. but yeah, let's hope the Mucker Racing driver can maybe get back into the race, as Conan in turn challenging Luca Gray for the podium position here. But just having to get out of the throttle. And now this is where they will start to focus on saving energy for later in the race, won't they?
Yeah, you don't want to be... The first lap you're always going to use more energy, so the second lap is when you just got to settle into the rhythm and work out how you're going to tackle this race. Whether you're going to ease off and go hard at the end, or whether you're just going to... somewhere in the middle the whole way through.
Exactly, but certainly I think Sonneveld will be pushing, and there we go, a purple first sector for him, 24.3. I believe Dowson is still in the race, but his transponder has gone completely all over the show, because it's still showing him setting lap times, but I certainly don't think he would have set a 1:14.8. Oh no, that's Guber, of course.
Yeah, Dowson, I don't know what's going on.
I think Dowson is desynced compared to everyone else, maybe. I think he's just completed lap 1 now. According to the race view timing.
I think he's not in the race, but he's still being shown.
There's the leaders, so it looks like Sonneveld has pulled a bit of a gap to Gray now.
Guber sets the fastest lap.
Yeah, there we go, brilliant final sector, 10th quicker than Sonneveld, but otherwise they're pretty neck and neck at the moment.
There's Tom Dillon, I think, is battling. He's just been overtaken by, not Barry B. Benson, Max Diazny.
Yeah, there we go. So, another driver called Max. Giving a British driver some trouble. Where have we seen that before? But Tom Dillon will have to keep him in sight as that into the points yellow car. It's a shame it's not yellow and black, or black and yellow, as the B-movie so correctly points out. But I'm sure Stianzi will...
Zervas is out.
Oh no, so Zervas has hit trouble somewhere. As we look at Josh Hughes in 12th position in that XRL eSports car.
Looks like a disconnect for Zervas, I think.
As James Zervas did set a very competitive time, actually 6th in the hot laps this week, so he'll be disappointed with that, as Guber sets another fastest lap of the race, but only a slender margin faster than Sonneveld, who's still 7/10 behind him.
As Dowson goes to the lead again, or not.
It's sort of an illusory lead, and I imagine Dowson is probably not seeing too many other cars on track.
I think he might not make it very far in the race.
Yeah, he drops back down to last then. So Dowson, Zervas, Hermans seem to be our only retirement. So Dowson, there's a big question mark over that, whether he can resync back into the race. And this isn't one of the Codemasters F1 games, so I'm not sure he's going to be able to.
I think at this point it would just be best for him to leave, otherwise it could cause a nuisance for other drivers as Diazny gets past Johansson.
Yeah, there we go. Johansson just to get out of the throttle there in the 77. But Stianzi putting on a great overtaking show so far in that yellow into the yeah, it is into the points, isn't it? Yeah. Keep getting mixed up between that and the yellow VMS car of Sonneveld.
Hughes tried to attack mode but has missed it.
Oh dear, and I did warn my drivers before this race, just make sure you practice doing attack mode so you don't get caught out later on. But there we go, that's not ideal for Hughes now, who finds himself really defending from Stianzi now. He's just continuing to make metronomic progress up the order. Guber now pulling 1.8 1.2 second, 1.3 second gap out over Sonneveld. This is incredibly impressive so far at this phase of the race. And are we seeing the first stages of this championship battle? We don't know. Obviously, I don't know who's going to suit the other circuits essentially until we get to them. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Guber, Sonneveld, and then maybe Joshua Hamilton fighting it out for the championship by the end of the season. As look, here we go, Stianzi up the inside into turn 2, and there's that Dylan trying to come back at him, and Dylan has to really get out the throttle, and it could be Johansson who takes advantage here and almost tries to get alongside, but just has to back out as Eggert. Pascal first into attack mode then, so we'll keep an eye out for him as Sonneveld sets a purple middle sector as he attempts to get back on song with Guber.
Let's have a look at the energy remaining. So everyone pretty much on the same 87%. It's probably too early for...
Yeah, Gosh at the very rear has also gone into attack mode, and he's doing the best of the energy savers at the moment.
So attack mode is 3 times 3 minutes in this race.
Yeah, Eggert is also half a second behind Gashi. And as we can see on screen, and he might have a really good closing speed into turn 1. But once again, taking that odd inside line, I think this time intentionally so, just so he doesn't run into the back of Alban Gachi.
I mean, if Dawson is still in the race, he's not going to make the end anyway with that energy consumption.
No, it's certainly looking like the Macca racing driver. He might be better off stopping and having some Mackie D's rather than continuing on, But, you know, full credit to him. If he carries on, gets some points for 18th, then that could be quite bad. Or 17th, actually, because I think Zervas is still out of the race. So,
yep.
So, I mean, that could make a difference for him at the end of the season. Luca Gray still holding off Conan to the tune of 1.7 seconds.
Pascal.
And Pascal up the inside into turn 6 and 7. Not much Gashi could do there. And now Michael Steffel is the next target then. So into the points, looking quite vulnerable to hold on to 5th position here. Oh, here we go. Looks like Gashi was not happy with that one. Pascal setting himself up then to attack Michael Steffel. It's only about 4 minutes of attack mode, I believe. And do they get 1 activations or 2? So here we go. Pascal to the outside, but then switches to the inside into turn 1. And Michael Steffel is sort of almost left in the dust there and almost back into Gashi. So good manoeuvring there by the Finner von der Veget. I can't imagine Nick Conan will hold him up too much.
No, I doubt it. But yeah, attack mode, you've got 3 activations of 3 minutes each, so it's just over 2 laps.
Sonneveld has got the gap to Guber up down to under a second now, 9/10 of a second. Eggert 23.9 in the first sector, which is not surprising given he's in attack mode. But Sonneveld is starting to come back here. So
what's happened to Gashi? Did he try? I think he tried attack mode again and missed it, maybe?
I think it wasn't Gashi that missed. It was Josh Hughes, wasn't it, that missed the first time? That's him trying to go all the way around the outside of Michael Steffel, who's himself gone into attack mode there. And now Steffel's still there as they go into the final sector. Steffel's surely going to run out of room on the wrong line here. And there, sure enough, he has to slot in behind Gashi. But I think he's going to breeze past on the straight here unless Gashi gets over-aggressive and really defensive.
Yeah, I think Steffel will easily get past down here. Yeah, he's already...
After that, maybe a little bit of an admission from Gashi there that, I fought a little too hard there, now I'm going to let you through rather than destroying my race here.
Yeah, that was a bit aggressive against the cards in attack mode. They're not really your battle at that point, so you just let him through.
Eggert, I believe, is just run out of attack mode. Oh, Gashi at the inside. I thought he was going to calm down a bit, but no chance of that as Lahoven also getting involved in behind with Coopers.
Yeah, some very aggressive driving.
I think that was Cooper's trying to go up the inside of Joop Lahoven, and Joop defended quite well there. Wasn't intimidated by the VMS, as now Lahoven goes for attack mode.
And everyone.
Like Cooper's as well. So, all happening down here in midfield, but none of the top 4 have really blinked yet. And Conan is, because he didn't let Pascal through, I guess he's decided, I'm going to try and build a gap and go into attack mode myself then.
I would expect Sonneveld to take attack mode fairly soon.
Yeah, 3.8 second gap to Luca Gray, unless Sonneveld is doing what he did here last year and saving it right to the end of the race. But of course he's not in the dominant position he was before, with James Guber right ahead of him. So at Sonneveld, this will be a very, very interesting fight, because we only saw him in this position a couple of times with Josh Hamilton, didn't we, last year? Where Punter comes to mind, of course, but he was starting from much further back that time. Marrakesh as well. Of course, he overcame on that occasion. He had the help of his teammate, didn't he? Whose name escapes me.
Yes, escapes me too.
There we go. Oh.
Here we go. Attack mode first.
Oh, there we go. So, Nick, I have to bow to your judgment there. It looks like Sonovod is not doing the same strategies last year. He's going more aggressive then.
So he needs to push very hard this lap, and so he can try and get
Conan
ahead.
also goes into attack mode, comes out behind Pascal Eggert.
Not by very much though, but the looks of things.
Alright, it looks like Eggert might have to move aside then. And indeed, he does not.
As there's a yellow flag, what's happened?
And it feels like Conan has sort of come up just ahead of Steffel, who's just about to run out of attack mode.
Whoa!
So a pretty important move there. Oh, Cooper's!
Oh,
we're not really given that much space by Larhoven, wasn't he? Was he?
they're both in attack mode, so none of them have an advantage.
Yeah, here we go, and Cooper's gets as close as he can to the rear diffuser of that Finnevon car. I believe you've got a Lego version of this car now, Nick.
It's sitting in front of me now.
Indeed it is. So you've got a good view of that diffuser as well, but Cooper's will certainly not be as fond of it as you are.
Is there something going on back with Tom Dillon?
Well, Tom Dillon has climbed up to 13th though, and now goes up the inside then of, that's Gosh, is it? Hughes, sorry, in the XRL Esports car. So Hughes sort of caught off guard there as Tom Dillon making the most of, he's not in attack mode actually, so yeah, just
Sonneveld, half a second.
Oh, here we go. So Sonneveld's closed in then, and Guber has gone into attack mode now himself in response, which is exactly what he needed to do. So crucial not to lose track position here. Do you think that was the right move then, Nick?
Yeah, he had to cover him off.
Indeed. Gray, I believe, is the only one who's not really blinked so far. So he's going to have his hands full with Conan. What if Pascal ever lets him through?
Yeah, that doesn't look like... Well, it's getting quite close.
Yeah, there we go. There's a train behind Pascal Eggert then.
I'd imagine
in this
he'll get
fourth.
past on the
So
straight.
Luca Gray will be loving this so far. Because look at that gap between Gray and Eggert. 2.7 seconds.
As Gashi, Larhoven and Kuipers all run out of attack mode.
But ideally, if you're in the top three in this race, you want Pascal Eggert to hold people up so they just waste their attack mode being stuck behind him, essentially. Which seems to be what's happening to Nick Conan at the moment.
I'm quite surprised he hasn't been let back through, but here we go.
Yeah, it may even be Pascal goes into attack mode now, just to not hold up Nick Conan. They're both in the same team chat, so they can coordinate this, but I think Conan will be shouting at him now. But look at Luca Gray getting away now. As Sonneveld about to run out of attack mode. Just a second and a half then behind James Guber. And to the outside goes Conan. But once again, Pascal just stays in the middle of the road. And Nick Conan, they are in different teams. Of course, Finnevon purple, Nick Conan, and Finnevon green for Pascal Eggert.
Battle going on here with Gashi.
So I believe that's Pascal Eggert sticking to his own rules, that basically even if you're both affiliated to the same ownership, if you're a different team, you can't have those team orders in effect.
Yep, that's a new rule for this season.
That is just to prevent Punta del Este style
wave
acquiesces.
Yeah, wave your teammate through.
Wave your much faster title contending teammate through.
Even though you entered 7 cars into the same race.
I believe there is another. I think Sonneveld's the only yellow VMS driver in this race, so I don't think anyone can let him through at any point.
Yeah, there's a few that didn't turn up for race.
I think Jerry Bussel, of course, you actually set the fastest hot lap, 106.3, which I don't think we've seen matched just yet, although Juba got pretty close, just a couple of tenths away.
So yeah, in VMS yellow we've got Sonneveld and Van Bussel, then in orange we've got Jarno Hermans, red is Gashi and Kuipers, and black is Diego and Vlietstra?
Vlietstra, yes.
Butcher that.
Yeah, Vlietstra has actually been performing really well in the Formula Sim Racing Academy, so it was great to commentate on him, as well as the Finnevon drivers there as well.
Well, I didn't qualify.
Well, no, but Peter did alright, and so did the other guy. Was it Nick? It may have actually been Nick Conan.
Milan, I think.
Oh, it was Milan Evers, of course.
Yeah.
Completely wrong on that. As we look at Larhoven down in 8th, struggling to keep Gashi in sight, really.
We're only 15 minutes in.
Yeah, so Larhoven is basically completely sandwiched. Yellow in the final sector, so somebody has crashed out here, and it is Stianzi in Into the Points yellow, number 76. Or is it Schumann, actually? No,
I can't.
It's Peter Schumann, because he's gone into the pit lane to put a new wheel on. So I think Peter Schumann has just hit the wall somewhere probably in that final sector while battling with Stianzi.
That does
and
mean
that puts
there's now
Dillon,
a
of course,
wheel on
up
the
into
track.
11th. So Tom Dillon continuing to gain positions, but there's his teammate stretching out his lead to nearly 3 seconds now. This has been a superb performance so far, and Sonneveld has got
What's
no
happened
response
to
so far.
Gray? He's
7 seconds down, so he's falling slowly into the clutches of
But he's
Eggert.
taken attack mode, but Pascal still seems to be quicker than him.
Maybe it was a bad entrance into attack mode. We're a bit distracted. Maybe he was involved in the Schumann incident as well, possibly. But Luca Gray,
He's already lost a minute of it, so it's not like he just took it. I'm not entirely sure what's happening.
yeah, we seem to have missed something there on stream, unfortunately. Peter Schumann gets back into the race in 17th and last, unless you count Jake Dowson, of course, in 16th.
I mean, he's still classified, but
It's
if
true.
I
He's saying
what's
Peter
happened to
Schumann
Hughes?
is... as Josh Hughes in the 39
just been overtaken by Stefan.
goes. So XRL really in trouble here because Last Stint Racing have got by them, and now it won't be long before Josh Hughes is into the clutches of the second Last Stint car, only 8 seconds down the road of Leif Johansson.
See what Dawson's up to? Oh, well,
Not much. Doesn't see. Not that we can see. We might have an interview with him later where he'll tell us about his amazing race.
he's winning actually.
Sure. I'm completely happy hearing that because I totally haven't just seen my driver dominate and then have Jake Dowson say, that's not what I saw. Well, my replay shows everyone else retired and I just kept going and the race didn't get red flag. As Michael Koch overtakes Stianzi for 10th.
Yeah, and Stiazny I think is overtaken Dylan.
Here we go, so not great for Dylan, back down to 12th. But it looks like the fight is really on here as Dylan gets round Stianzi, who just continues to drop back in the 76.
Tom took attack mode, so that's why he dropped behind, but got him straight back again.
Yeah, so Tom being very efficient there. Luca Gray sets a personal best lap 109.6, faster than both the leaders, so the gap back down to 5.9. So I think Luca Gray is okay then.
But he's still not that far away from Pascal, right?
Yeah, that could be a threat later on. But Conan has sort of fallen into the clutches of Michael Steffel now, who's only about less than half a second behind him.
Let's have a look at the energy, shall we?
So, but Michael Steffel is certainly the closest on track. There we go,
Dillon.
Steffel into attack mode then. And I believe he's done it without losing a position to Gashi. So now Conan will be under real pressure then. Far from challenging for the podium, he's now struggling to hold on to 5th.
Yeah, far and away the lowest on energy is Tom Dillon, 59%.
Well, he did say that was the thing he was worried about.
Yep.
So, Tom, hopefully take a look at your dash if you can hear this, Tom. And I didn't get him into an interview after qualifying, although to be fair, we didn't have a whole lot of time. So we'll have to hear what he says after this race, if indeed he can get to the end without running out of energy. But I did say specifically before the race started, make sure you've got enough energy to do that final lap.
I mean, it looks to me like he's about a lap short.
There we go. Well, hopefully Guber just ends the race a lap early and that solves the problem. So,
well, Guber's got the most energy, so he
and
can
he's
do what he
leading.
wants.
So, like, more crucially. But there he is. The gap still stable. Sonneveld's fought back a little bit, 2.7, but not really challenging at the moment. And indeed, if Sonneveld makes a mistake somewhere, he could potentially fall into the clutches of Gray about 6 seconds behind. But Gray has a set of 1:11.0 on that lap, about 6 tenths slower. So Gray sort of going back into struggling territory as we see Steffel trying to get around Neat Conan.
Yeah, Steffel's in attack mode.
Yep, and Conan is having to really get defensive in the middle of the road, entering turn 6 and 7. 26 minutes remaining in the race, of course. So Steffel has got enough time, really, to get around Conan as Conan goes really, really wide and gives Steffel a little sniff of that 5th position. And now Steffel, hopefully, right in the slipstream, will think about a move, put on some action for us. Down the inside he goes into turn 1. I don't think there's too much that Conan can do here. And he's shuffled back down to 6th position as Into the Points back into the top 5.
It's getting a bit close for 3rd as well.
Yeah, there we go. Eggert really pushing then.
We got a yellow
lap, he was 3 tenths faster in the previous lap than Luca Gray. There's Gosh right behind Tom Dillon for that 11th position. There we go. Eggert now. There's no space between him and the rear of that 360 car, is there?
I think he's just going to have to send it up on the brakes.
guys. So
It's definitely within range.
you go the Dutchman versus the Englishman.
He's German.
Oh no, he is. He's German. Luca
Yep.
Gray. Sorry, he drives for a British team, which is why I got confused.
Luca's English, Pascal's German.
Oh right, okay. Well, Pascal's going to be very annoyed at me now for that. But the German versus the Brit then, as looks like Luca Gray is actually backing them into Michael Steffel, who's still got a little bit of attack mode left, but
He might be able to get above the straight. He's got just about enough.
Especially if Pascal hangs the rear out like that out of the final corner, that is really going to hurt his exit. And
He's got to run.
Luca Gray will breathe a sigh of relief, but Michael Steffel will have a look around the outside, and Pascal will have to defend as Steffel runs out of attack mode, and there's a yellow in the second sector, so there's some drama somewhere. As Lahoven also struggling behind Gashi. Steffel through into fifth and almost had a little sniff of it. This is a great battle for third then. I'm really enjoying this.
Not sure what the yellow flag was for.
It was a purple middle sector actually for Steffel on that previous lap. So certainly making the best of his attack mode.
It's now... Pascal takes attack mode.
And he's got through past Pascal actually on the exit. Turn two. That was Conan, or was it Steffel or Conan? Steffel really sliding the rear out. I think I got Gray and Steffel mixed up for a second there. Sorry.
Yeah, they're
both in the blue and black cars, the into the points and the. It's more of a purpley blue on the 360, so I guess that's how you tell the difference. But now Eggert could really challenge for the podium here. This has been a good recovery drive from Pascal Eggert, starting in from 10th position. He's really climbed his way through into the top 4 and could get onto the podium here.
I think that's almost inevitable going into turn 1 now.
But Luca Gray's got the inside then. It depends who breaks latest. But Eggert just simply swings around the outside of him, and you're absolutely right, Nick. Never doubted you.
That was how Fernando and Alonso and Lewis Hamilton should have taken that manoeuvre at Spa.
Yeah, well, there we go. A rare blunder from Lewis Hamilton, and I'm sure Josh Hamilton, if he's watching this, will be glad that he's not done anything like that in history.
Is that Gray slowing down?
Oh, yeah, it looks like Gray in trouble then, as he brakes really early, and Michael Steffel breezes around the outside of him. Could that potentially be some kind of naughty inter-team helping each other out there?
It didn't look like it. It looked like he...
Or it's just Gray really struggling for energy now at this point in the race. We're about halfway through.
That's about the same as everyone else.
So a mistake then from Luke. I think he just got sideways into turn 4 and 5, didn't he?
Zuber's got 1% more than everyone else.
So Guber, the gap 3.5 seconds now, so he's inching towards the 4-second mark.
Yeah, I don't think Tom is making
Sonneveld was 2 tenths faster on the previous lap as Eggert sets a personal best in attack mode. Now he's up to third, 7.9 seconds down, so let's not completely discount Pascal Eggert. He could make up a bit of ground with the rest of his attack mode.
I wonder if Luca has hit the wall or something. It looks like he's might have some suspension damage.
Was the steering a bit bent there as he stuck behind Michael Steffel now? And it doesn't look too bad. There might be more of a suspension than a steering issue. Oh, he's having to take a really early turn in there into this sort of really quick chicane.
I wonder if he just wanted to be behind someone to pick up a toe.
Possibly, but I don't see why you give up fourth position as Lahoven passes Gashi, because Gashi has gone into attack mode.
I think it's showing yellow flags when people take attack mode. Oh no, Neek has DNF'd.
Oh no, so that's Conan, a promising race has come to nothing in the end. So that's really put all the onus down. Pascal Eggert on his own fighting for that third position. There's Gashi right behind Lahoven, who moves up to 6th now with Conan's retirement.
They're both in attack mode, but it looks like Gashi has got 1 extra lap.
Peter Schumann sets the fastest lap of the race in attack mode, 109.3. Also, Sonneveld went into his final attack mode while we weren't looking, but is about to run out. He's just got the gap to under 3 seconds now.
I think Peter is not caring about energy. I think he's just going for the fastest lap.
Well, let's see if him or Dylan's going to run out of energy first. I'm sure Tom will start to get it under control because it's fallen behind Gosh now for the 10th position battle.
Dawson has retired from the race.
There we go, so Dawson finally having an early bath then.
Johansson's gone as well, I didn't see what happened to him.
That's a shame for Leif Johansson because he was sort of in that battle with Gosh and Dylan, wasn't he? And Josh Hughes. So they're starting to really drop like flies now as we get into the closing stages of the race, the final 20 minutes.
Only halfway.
Oh, right. Well, it's the closing half.
It's felt like a long time.
Lahoven in attack mode sets the fastest first sector. So he's really pushing to catch up to Gray.
Sonneveld
He's cleared
fastest
Gashi. There we go. So Sonneveld really not giving up yet, but now Guber has gone into attack mode just as it looks like Sonneveld's run out. So that 1.4 second gap is going to balloon back out to Guber as long as he doesn't do anything too silly, which he hasn't shown any signs of doing so far. Oh, really late dive there by Lahoven on Gray, who is really struggling now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Luca. He's seems to have lost a lot of pace. Doesn't seem to be short on energy. His car doesn't seem to be damaged, so...
Yeah, perhaps just fatigue setting in. It is his first EERC Formula E race, and the 360 driver, great in qualifying, but perhaps as the race gone on, struggling to sustain that pace. Now, maybe even worn out the tyres a little bit by putting too much heat into them. That can happen around this Tempelhof circuit if you're not careful.
It's a very abrasive surface, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not like London, which we'll be going to next time, which is very, very high grip, especially indoors. And there we go. Steffel, he's sort of there's almost like a yo-yo between him and Michael Steffel, where he sort of loses a bit of time and then closes back in, because I think Steffel's pace has not been too stellar either. As 109.2 by Guber there, so really pressing on then, and the gap already back up to 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, I think he's controlling the pace, really, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just really looked in control. There was a bit where Sonneveld was really keeping with him as, oh, look at this. Once again, Lahoven has a little think up the inside, and Gashi licking his lips now as they almost go side by side in front of him.
Come the inside, yep, here we go.
And Lahoven opens the brakes, tries to toe up the inside, and Luca Gray's really going to have to hold it out around the outside there. And he's done well to hold on, but Lahoven is really all over him like a cheap suit at the moment. Will he have a dive up into turn 5?
I think he will.
Yes, he will. And that's going to force Gray into attack mode, but he doesn't have any more. He does have one left. There we go. So strategic move by Luca Gray, and he's going to get a great run here on the straight. But Lahoven almost puts him in the wall.
Well, if you're going to be out there anyway, you may as well take attack mode.
Yes, and a great... Oh! You see, he was offline there. He couldn't brake where he wanted to, and that allows Lahoven to simply drive around the outside of him.
That's very nice driving. Oh, and he gets a tap from Gashi as a reward.
Luca Gray really struggling with the extra power there. You saw he just almost lost it. He's gone very gingerly. Oh, and again, still steps the rear out to make sure that he gets the run on Lahoven into turn 1. Pulls away from Gashi at least.
He'll get it done here, will he?
He's going to get close, but Lahoven just brakes really late and then turns in when he likes. So Luca Gray down to 6th really, and his race really not panning out as he'd hoped, but still some attack mode left. So Lahoven will have to get his anchors out, won't he?
Well, he's a bit down on energy as well.
Yeah, if he can force Lahoven to just blow for his energies. Oh, as Luca Gray looked like he had a bit of a connection issue there, because he now disappeared and then reappeared right in front of Gashi.
That would have been about half a
Gashi had to get right on the brakes there as well, so good reaction times from him there. That's not usually in your repertoire as a driver, that just expecting cars to randomly appear in front of you.
I've had it before, and it's not fun.
Oh, and now Gray gets really, really close in the braking zone of 6 and 7.
But he's already lost over half of his attack mode, not being able to go after Stefan.
Yeah, Lahoven has really forced him to go where he didn't want to go, basically. Ever since that first move didn't work out, it's really not worked for him. And
he should get him up the
Lahoven was a bit on the limit, putting him near the wall, but I think he gave them a car's whip, so I think he shouldn't get in too much trouble. But now Luca Gray goes to the outside, and Lahoven just once again holds the inside. And this is very entertaining, isn't it?
It's the closest battle on track by far at the minute.
Run a bit spread out otherwise. Although...
But yeah, I don't think Lahoven's making it to the end with 34%. He's now the lowest on circuit.
Lahoven may have to really continue saving energy even now that Luca Gray is about to run out of attack mode.
He's 5% down on... Ooh, little look. But Gray loses the rear again, which stops him from getting a good exit and a run.
Yeah, Gashi's starting to close back in as well because of this.
And Gray is about to lose his attack mode as well. So I think...
She bumps him in the rear.
Love tap.
Yeah, friendly, just to remind him that he's still there in case Joe Lahoven forgot about him. But
So his last opportunity is down the straight here. Then
here we
he'll
go.
lose
So
the
Luca
back.
Gray needs a decent exit. We've seen him spin the rears up before.
Does it again?
And he does it a little bit, but not as bad. And he might have a run around the outside here if he can just get the momentum that he needs. But Lahoven once again makes him go offline to the outside and maintains that 5th position. Just really holding the apex there. But Luca Gray hasn't given up, even though his attack mode has run out. And he tries to get the switchback through turn 2. And Lahoven just sees it coming and holds him off.
Very good racing. Nice and clean, a few taps, but Robin's racing.
True, but all that racing, it's burning up Lahoven's energy, as you point out, Nick. So, and I have to get really sort of... He just does brake really late just to make sure that Luca Gray couldn't go around the outside of him there and get the cut back. And in fact, he's actually got a really decent run on the straight. The only other close battle on track, I believe, is Gashi behind them. I think Tom Dillon's about 3.2 behind Stefan Gosch.
Yeah, no one else is within 3 seconds of anyone else, so...
Dillon has started to get his energy consumption back under control as well. Great. Desperately needs to get something back from this race. 6th would be good, but 5th would be a much better return for 360 on their debut here in Berlin with 13 minutes remaining.
I think he will get that 5th.
Just depends if Lahoven can get the energy back under control. Gashi, of course, could overtake both of them if things get really messy here.
They've still all got at least one attack mode to take.
Still 14 drivers left in the race. Wasn't surprised to see Peter Schumann set fastest lap earlier because, of course, he had a fresh wheel put on. So,
yep.
Look at that defense from Lahoven. I think his best hope is just to back Gray into Albin Gashi here.
Looks like that's what he's doing.
And will Lahoven force Gray into the wall again? But Gray has a run up the inside into 6 and 7, but has to back out. Doesn't have the overlap that he needs. But Gashi gets very optimistic and just makes contact with the rear of the 360 of Gray. Big grey area here. And Luca Gray right in the middle of it. In the middle of it. But yeah, now Gashi just seeing his opportunity and I think getting a bit impatient here. But of course those two fighting helps Lahoven because I think, look at their lap times, Lahoven has started to save a bit of energy. 1 minute 12 that last, like 1 minute 12.9 actually. And Gray and Gashi in the 113s.
Well, he's got track position, so the ball's in his car. If you can make this work.
Yeah. Cooper's is only about 3.7 seconds behind as well, and about a second a lap faster than what they're doing. So we could have 2 of the VMS red cars getting involved in this in a moment.
Some pretty aggressive swerving from Gray to try and find a way through. Hasn't worked.
Gray once again trying to get the cut back through turn 5. Yeah, it's turn 5.
Quite close now.
Yeah, but it's going to have to be a late dive here, and Lahoven will see it coming in his mirrors. You can literally see the 360 machine like a shark, that little nose ready to nip at the back of him. But Lahoven, is there a little bit of a steering on Lahoven that looks slightly off centre?
Let's have a look.
Didn't look too bad. It might just be my eyes deceiving me, as once again Luca Gray really closes through that final corner. Let's go onto the main straight now. I think it might just be him turning really early that caught me out there.
Yeah, I think that looks okay to me. Let's see.
Luca Gray once again has to just tuck in behind, and in fact doesn't get a superb exit out of turn 1 there. So Lahoven continuing to control the pace. 113.1 there. Lahoven has just got slower and slower, hasn't he?
Let's check the energy levels.
Has he got it back under control with 11 minutes left to go? That's the key thing.
No, he has not.
And in fact, here we go, Luca Gray up the inside as they approach turn 5. And is he going to get late on the brakes here? Oh, no, he can't. In fact, that compromises his exit, so he has to tuck it back into the slipstream. As Gashi now goes for his final attack mode. So this is absolutely crucial. We're seeing a freeway fight for 5th here now, and it's going to hot up very, very quickly.
Fireworks incoming.
And there we go, round the outside. Lahoven has to just hold on there, but that looked like the best opportunity yet for Luca Gray to get back through. And now Gashi may just sweep through past both of them. And look, there we go, Gashi going wide to set up his exit from the final corner here.
There as well now.
Here we go. Keep your eyes on Alban Gachi in that red and white VMS car. He goes to the outside now of the 360. And Luca Gray is going to be swamped here in a second. Around the outside he goes. Luca Gray holds on, but only just on the exit of turn 1. And shortly, here we go, up the inside comes Alban Gachi.
Oh, he's
going to try and
squeezed.
make it 2 moves at once. Oh, Lahoven didn't give him the space. And that was a very messy moment there. And Cooper's looking to take advantage too. But Gachi crucially getting through.
Yeah, that was a bit of a squeeze from.
And back through. That's brave from Luca Gray. A mistake then from Gachi. Almost immediately allows Luca Gray back through.
Gray is being very aggressive.
And Lahoven enters his second attack mode there. So all these guys have saved theirs till much later in the race than some of the others. Up the inside comes Gachi again on the 360. And he's going to be stuck on the outside there. And Lahoven will be breathing a sigh of relief because these two fighting just about gave him the gap he needed, didn't it?
Still don't think he'll make the end though.
That's true. But he's just got to hope against hope. But like we were saying earlier for Tom Dillon, Guber can just control the pace of the race and do a lap less if Tom Dillon needs him to. They are in the voice chat. So Tom can be like, James will be like, oh, how are you doing for energy? Oh, not so good. And in fact, here we go in track position. Not so good for Luca Gray either as he's stranded on the outside. And Gachi once again giving it another go. Cooper's could be a real threat now. I'm not sure if he's got another attack mode.
Ascend into the hairpin.
Up the inside he goes. And Luca Gray getting desperate now. Stuck on the outside. But looks like Gachi will just have enough overlap to complete this move. And Luca Gray sticks his foot in and goes around the outside and almost loses it there.
Catch your breath.
Yeah, there we go. And now Luca Gray finally bails out and goes for his final attack mode, but misses it. Oh no, he doesn't. He just got it.
Nearly got into the wall.
Yeah. The problem is that Gachi has still got a few seconds left, so it's not going to give him a huge advantage. But he gets through, and now almost in the back of Lahoven, who's not really been able to pull the gap with that attack mode because he's still worrying about energy.
He's got back into the right sort of ballpark. It's only 3% now.
Oh, but Luca Gray looking to punish now. He's got into attack mode. He's got much more available to him. About a minute more than Lahoven ahead. Up the inside he goes. Looks like Lahoven's just going to concede that one.
Lahoven is using a lower power mode to try and reach the end, it looks like, because that was a way too easy pass.
And the problem is now Lahoven could be at the mercy of both the VMS red cars.
Yep, definitely.
And in fact, is that them fighting each other though? Is that Cooper's trying to get down the outside of Gachi and Cooper's has to back off. Guber, I believe, has gone into his third attack mode there?
That will be, yep.
I thought they only had 2, but I guess it is 3.
3 times 3.
Okay. So this battle not over yet. Then Gachi makes a late dive up the inside of Lahoven as Cooper's goes for attack mode, and Gachi has got through past the Finabon driver. And is that Michael Koch not too far behind either, only about 4 seconds. And now Gachi really having to hold on.
Don't want to be too much through
hits the side of Lahoven. Lahoven really stubborn there. And that could really make him vulnerable now to Cooper's. So Lahoven really desperate and starting to lose that as he spins out back Gachi around. All half spins him, so not too bad. But that was a little bit of a desperate dive there by Joe Lahoven.
Yeah, very ambitious.
And the extra power, Cooper's is clearly not used to it because he was heading towards the wall there. And in fact, here we go, Lahoven trying to fight back up the inside of Alban Gachi. And Cooper's again licking his lips. He doesn't know which way to go here. He could go right past the both of them if he's not careful. But Lahoven can somehow hold on.
3 wide.
That 6th position. And now he's going to see them both going either side of him there. They're going to squeeze him. And Gachi somehow survives up the inside. But Cooper's around the outside. And Koch, he's going to get involved too. But the VMS cars go side by side. And Gachi loses out to Cooper's and Lahoven still going through the middle of both of them. I think Lopa's just having some fun now, isn't he? And that's Cooper's spinning.
They've broken rule 1.
There we go. So the 2 teammates hitting, but I feel like Bram Cooper's just lost it on his own there. I don't think that was Alban Gachi's fault. As Luca Gray is now completely spinning. Lahoven spinning. He may have even been hit. Another team. That was Koch spinning behind, and that actually lets Bram Cooper's back through as Koch has to Austin Powers this way around. And Gosh, I think, has actually now caught up to him.
What on earth is going on?
Everyone trying desperate stuff in the final phase of the race. So Dashi now 3.9 behind Luca Gray then, and still got his mirrors full of rope. Lahoven.
5 minutes to go.
Well, at least 2 seconds is the gap currently. But Lahoven may really start to struggle now, as Cooper's quickly caught up to him already, just in the space of a lap since spinning. So I really think the first 5 positions now are pretty much, first 6 actually are pretty much settled. But Cooper's up the inside then, and can Lahoven hold it on around the outside through the chicane? No, he can't.
I think he's in full-on energy. Get to the end mode.
I think VMS would have been hoping that would have been a bit less messy there, because Luca Gray has kind of escaped them.
Yes.
They would probably have hoped to catch up to him there.
He's now 8 seconds up the road from Gashi.
Let's see how everyone's doing in terms of energy. How's Tom Dillon doing, crucially, from a purely self-interest point of view?
I think he's about a lap short.
Yeah, 10%. So Guber will have to... if he can get the race done sooner, then he may have... Well, he's doing the best he can. 8 seconds ahead of Sonneveld. I don't think you can ask too much more there. Although Sonneveld now goes for his final attack mode as Schumann dives up the inside of Max Dianzi. So Schumann making a... Despite losing a wheel, is actually having a pretty decent recovery here. And there's Michael Koch now up the inside of his they're not actually specifically teammates. It's Koch's Eggert's teammate, not Lahoven's.
He's all over the place, that's what he is.
Oh, there we go, yes, another almost spin. And now Gosh, for Last Stint Racing, is interested in getting involved here, getting up to 9th position here. So, I think Lahoven and Dillon could both be sort of in a similar area. I think Dillon's doing slightly better than Lahoven, but not a whole lot. Yeah. Oh, and then the wall, and Gosh spins! Oh dear, that was just...
Always on the racing line.
Follow the leader, wasn't it? And here comes Tom Dillon. Let's hope he knows what's happening ahead of him. Make sure he doesn't hit the back of Gosh. Gosh really delayed, and Dillon had to get really out of the throttle there. And side by side they go through turn 5. Can Dillon get the exit he needs? Because he's still trying to save energy, remember. Gosh is actually doing a bit better in terms of energy. So Gosh holds on by the skin of his teeth to that 10th position. And now Dillon actually having to look in his mirrors a bit more, because his teammate's going through to lap him, the race leader, of course. And through goes. So that
will help Tom big time, because he has to do a lap less.
Here we go. But he'll be hoping that the car ahead of him also gets lapped as well. So that way Tom Dillon can have a go at him. Let's hope that we don't see any too many little... this reminds me of Schumacher in Benetton in the 90s. He would lap whoever his teammate would be fighting with, just to and the guy in front of them, just to back them into his teammate, basically. I don't think James Guber has probably got that on his mind, with Sonneveld still 7 seconds behind.
He's just taken he's in attack mode again, Sonneveld. Yeah,
but crucially, Guber not being held up too much by his teammate. Gosh, might provide a little bit more opposition, since he's not really... Same colour, but not the same team car, of course. So it's all seemed to settle down a little bit now. The closest really is Dillon versus Gosh, I think, on track. Although Steffel is only about 2.9 behind Eggert, so Eggert has actually really dropped off the back of Sonneveld rather than closing in.
I think he's hoping we don't have another... Was it Mexico where he ran out of energy on the last lap?
Yeah, that was quite painful for Pascal, because I think the podium slipped away on that occasion.
Yep.
A few seasons ago, wasn't it? Season 4, wasn't it?
4, yep.
And into attack mode goes Eggert, so there we go. That's going to keep Michael Steffel behind him then.
Problem solved.
I incorrectly implied Steffel was Eggert's teammate there. They're not, of course. Steffel into the points. As there's Stefan Gosch. Is that him now trying to challenge Lahoven again?
Yep.
And up the inside he goes, late on the brakes. Lahoven hasn't got anything really to defend, but tries to stick it out around the outside. And Lahoven really left in the dust there with 1:17 to go. And now
I think we've got 2 laps after this one.
Yeah, but Tom Dillon...
next lap is the last lap, sorry. We don't do the plus one.
Tom Dillon now will know that Lahoven is struggling ahead of him. And if he's just enough in the tank, now that he's only got to do a lap less, and I believe Lahoven's in a similar position now, because they're both lapped down.
Yeah, 4%, they're pretty much...
Yeah, so it's a straight fight, and Tom Dillon will just have to get in the slipstream, hope he can make the move. Eggert still only 1.7 ahead of Steffel, so he's kind of not gained all that much with his attack mode. So energy saving, energy at a premium really at this phase of the race, with 30 seconds to go until it ends.
think they'll make it. Depends how they got to save on this upcoming lap.
It's going to be a knife-edge thing there. Sonneveld behind is looking to lap them as well. But it's going to be a scary final lap for these two, that's for sure. And the others around, it's all starting to converge, isn't it? In terms of the strategy, it's only a little fine margins will decide
2%.
this battle. There we
That's
go.
very marginal.
Dylan must be so frustrated because he might have to let Sonneveld through before he can challenge, really. And is that Josh Hughes only about 3 seconds behind as well?
It's very good news for these two that they've been lapped or they'd never made it.
There we go, the clock has run out now, so Guber is about to cross final winner. Tom Dillon makes contact with Sonneveld and spins into the wall there. And just about gets going, but there'll be steering damage for sure there. And that could make an opportunity for Josh Hughes if Tom Dillon doesn't run out of energy anyway.
Yeah, I think you'll get that one.
Yes, I believe Guber is coming around the final corners now to win the race. Sonneveld is actually quite low on energy and will be very annoyed, I think, with Tom Dillon. Sonneveld's really pushed it to try and keep Guber in sight, but it's not been enough. Round the final corner comes James Guber, and he's going to win the Berlin E-prix for Hunter Bird Simulation. A great start to the season. He takes victory here in Germany. And Sonneveld coming through the final corner now. He will have to settle for second best. The reigning champion still on the podium, but he was left very much in the dust by his rival there. And here's Pascal Leggett, the organiser, the man who makes it all happen. He starts the season with a podium and on attack. I think he's going for fastest lap here. Purple middle sector. Let's see as he crosses the line. 109.3, so not quite the fastest lap of the race.
I think he ran out on the line of energy.
Oh dear. There we go. And there's Michael Steffel, who takes fourth, just missing out on the podium. Luca Gray has recovered to fifth rather nicely, actually. Despite struggling in the middle of the race, he managed it quite well to recover as well as he did. But the podium has eluded him nonetheless. And I believe Dylan was not able to get Larhoven in the end. He was at 1.6 behind, but Luca Gray finishes fifth. Gashi will cross the line in sixth ahead of his teammate Coopers.
Did he run out?
By about 1.6. Yeah, he ran out just before the line and coasted over it, I think. Michael Koch will finish a disappointing 8th somewhat for the Season 4 champion. He opens his account, but I think he would have been hoping for better than that. Qualifying really showed he just didn't have the pace. And there's Stefan Gosch. He stayed on the lead lap and last in racing. I believe this will be their best finish yet in 9th.
No, I think he's already finished.
So
yeah, he has.
There we go. So that is your top 10 then, with Larhoven just about holding on somehow and rounding it out. But there we go. So do you want to take us through the order, Nick?
Yep. So James Guber wins for Hunter Birch Simulation in their
My
first
middle
race.
name is actually James. So,
well, same here.
And so it was a good omen, I think.
Yeah. Heist Sonneveld, second place, didn't really have an answer. Pascal Leggett up from 10th to 3rd. I think he'll be happy with that. Find out soon. Michael Steffel 4th, Luca Gray in 5th, Alban Gashi 6th, Bram Kuipers 7th, Michael Koch 8th, Stefan Gocht 9th, and Joop Larhoven in 10th. And the next page, well, so many DNFs. Tom Dillon just about finishes the race in 11th. Ahead of Josh Hughes. Not Barry B. Benson is in 13th. And Peter Schoenemann, after having his wheel attached, in 14th. And then DNFs for Nick Conan, Leif Johansson, Jake Dawson after his disappearing act, Chris Servas, and Jarno Hermans.
So there we go. Let's have a chat with the race winner, shall we? And drag him in. Let's see if James wants to speak to us. And we can maybe get Tom in as well. But we are joined now by our race winner, James Guber, for Hunter Birch Simulation. James, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
It's great to hear from you, James. Congratulations, and a great way to open your account. I know Joshua Birch is probably watching this, and Team Koa, and are feeling very happy. I know I'm happy, but really, you set it up from qualifying. I know you were really worried about your pace in qualifying, but you improved throughout the week and did enough not only to get in, but take pole position. And then Sonneveld just did not have an answer, did he?
Yeah, just felt comfortable in the car. That I was under consuming for a lot of the race. For the final 5 laps, I used a bit like used another like 0.5% a lap because I would have had another lap by the end of the race. I was so under consuming towards the start of the race. So, but yeah, I was just really comfortable in the car, really happy with the pace, good battery management. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling you weren't quite expecting that coming in, but a dream first race for you in the championship. And thanks. That was really just on behalf of the team for that performance. We're really proud of the way you handled that, and let's hope we keep it up next time in London because it's a home race for the team, home race for yourself as well. So I'm sure we'll be looking to extend that championship lead.
Yes, I'll be looking forward to hopefully keeping my form alive from this race. But London I haven't driven around. The only one I've driven around has been Battersea, way back in season 1 or 2 for EERC's FE Championship. But yeah, it should be a new challenge for me.
I've been to both in real life. I can tell you XL's a much better circuit, especially for overtaking. So I guarantee we'll have a much better time, provided we can get everyone to do the race without being lagging out and being disconnected, like we had at the end of last season, unfortunately. But we're also joined by your teammate, Tom Dillon, who finished 11th in the end after starting, I believe, 16th or 17th. So, Tom, you didn't have quite the easy run that your team. Well, I say easy; it was actually very difficult. But you didn't have quite the clear run. You were in a lot of battles this race with the likes of Josh Hughes and Lahoven near the end. Were you hoping that your teammate James could just make the race last one lap less, so that you were okay on energy near the end there? Because it looked like for a while there you were kind of on the bubble.
Absolutely on the bubble. I had to slow down to let James pass me, actually. I was doing 3-4 seconds a lap slower than I was at the start of the race to try and let James get past. And he really saved me at the end there, because I wouldn't have made it. I was 0% on the line. I thought maybe I could chase and get into the 10th position in the end, and that was the goal throughout the race. But unfortunately, I think it was Stefan just had a little bit too much for me today, despite the spin and then show at the end. But
we saw that spin. Yes, it was a bit of a scary moment. I was worried. Oh no, he's spun on the racing line, and Tom is next in line to run into the back of him.
No, I
you were never that. You were never that clumsy. So I knew you. Everything was fine. I shouldn't have worried. But there we go. I think two finishes, almost 2 top 10 finishes. I think 1st and 11th. That's not a bad opening account, and we still got the sister team to go tomorrow, so we'll have to find out how they get on. But anyway, congratulations, guys, on Tom for finishing the first race, because that was a bit in doubt in a while, and James for winning it superbly. So I couldn't have asked for too much more from either of you.
Thank you very much, Ed.
Okay, maybe if I was being harsh, I could have asked a little more from Tom. But
right, cheers, Ed.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I'm not sure who we talk to next. Pascal Eggert has just joined us from the podium. So I guess we can hear Pascal's thoughts on the race. Starting 10th, Pascal, I know qualifying didn't quite go to plan, but the race, it really, that attack mode strategy really helped you get positions up the order. And then you were able to hold up Nick Conan, your teammate, and just hold on to that 3rd position with the leaders just a little bit out of reach. Is that your assessment of the race too?
Yeah, qualifying was relatively horrible from me, but race was fun. I was surprised Nick didn't go for that one move on me. I asked him afterwards,
But of course, he is a Frinavon driver like yourself, but of course still, for the sister team, for the other team.
Yeah, exactly. I told him he's free to race and stuff, and he said, "Yeah, it would have been too tight for him." So
I said in commentary, Pascal, that that's Pascal enforcing his own rule by not letting the other Frinavon car through. But oh no, you're not my actual teammate. That's Michael.
Yep. But it was a fun race, clean from everyone what I saw. And he seemed to have the pace with the front runners, so that kind of keeps me hopeful. I almost got the fastest lap there as well.
We saw it at the end. Yes, he really saved that attack mode to late on.
Ran like out of energy with the last 100 meter. Otherwise, I probably would have gotten it. But yeah.
But anyway, congratulations on the podium, Pascal. Great way to start the season. Certainly a better start than last season.
That's for sure.
So this could be the season. You never know, and I would not discount you at all, Pascal. So well done, and best of luck for London coming up next time.
Thank you.
Right, shall we drag Luca Gray in? I think Luca Gray and Michael Steffel are the last two I think I'd really want to talk to, unless anyone else is listening wants to jump in. But let's see if we can talk to 360 Motorsport driver Luca Gray, who just finished his first race in 5th position. So Luca, great qualifying, a little bit of struggles near the middle of the race, but then you brought it back. That great battle with Lahoven and the two VMS cars. You came out on top. So talk us through it, if you can.
Hello?
Hello, Luca.
Can you repeat the question? I couldn't hear anything.
Congratulations on finishing in P5, Luca. We were just... it was a great qualifying to get into Super Pole and onto the second on the grid, of course, on the front row. You dropped back a little bit near the beginning and the middle stage of the race. And you had that great battle with Lahoven and the two VMS red cars. And you came out on top, really, even though we thought you were really struggling with Lahoven at one stage, but you were able to just about get ahead and pull away. So talk us through it, because it looked a bit hairy at points there.
It was hairy all through the race. It was quite lucky I saved at the start, because I thought they, like, I don't know who it was, but whoever I was battling, I thought they had loads of battery left, and I didn't, so I just had to push.
It was Lahoven, I think, who ended up being a lap down almost because he was really struggling.
Jeez. Yeah. I thought I was the one who didn't have any battery, but apparently not. It was crazy. I almost crashed about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, there were a couple of times there was a bit of contact. Like, I think, didn't Lahoven nearly spin you, or was that Michael Steffel that he spun? Because you and Michael Steffel are both in the blue and black car, so I always got the two of you mixed up, unfortunately.
Well, I almost got spun twice, but I don't know from who. It was at the last corner, that's all I can remember.
But as far as 360 Motorsports goes, for their first race in the championship, you qualifying second, finishing 5th, that's a pretty decent return, isn't it? I think Aidan Coleman and the others will be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Just a shame that Aidan couldn't be here, but he's in real life racing, so he's got more important things to do.
Well, best of luck there too. And of course, home race next up, not just for our team, but for your team as well in London. So I imagine you'll be looking to do really impress the virtual home crowd at the XL Centre.
I didn't even know that.
Me and Nick actually met up there for the real life race last month, which was good fun. But of course, anyway, well done on 5th. You can tell I'm sort of running out of steam at this point.
Yeah.
But thanks for talking to us, Luca, and I guess we'll see you next time in London, where I'm sure you'll be back to give our drivers, James Guber and Tom Dillon, another good run for their money.
Yeah, thank you.
I was really worried you were going to sneak pole today, but James just about had it up in the end.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
I was worried you did too. I was 2 tenths down after turn 1 and then lost another 2 tenths in the final corner.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Luca didn't even know.
I gained a 10th in where was it, turn 8, I think it is.
I thought he went faster on the last lap.
He did go fastest on his final Super Pole lap, but the first corner he went a little bit. Sonneveld actually hit the wall on his Super Pole lap at the first corner because he was going really wide on entry. So unfortunately, House, we can't talk to House. He finished second because he left immediately after the race. So we just have to make do with the winner, Luca Gray, and a couple of us that we just picked up, including Pascal, and of course my great co-commentator Nick. So thanks very much for talking to us, Luca. And I think Nick, any closing thoughts before I wrap up on our first race in Berlin of season 6?
Too late, I think.
That's true. Well, never mind. We'll leave the thinking to the drivers because most of them made the end. So I think that's pretty good finishing rate. 14 finishes for the first race. Even if Peter Schumann did his best to destroy the car at one point, but I'm sure it wasn't intentional. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I guess it's technically the Nil Reb E-prix because it's the reverse Berlin layout, but we'll just call it Berlin. And of course, next time we'll be back for the second race, London. E-prix at XL Centre on the 14th of September. That lovely indoor-outdoor layout, and I'm sure that's going to be another brilliant circuit that we're basically having our first proper race there because last time it was somewhat aborted. So there's that to look forward to. But also, if you watch our other EERC championships, and if you're listening and watching this, I'm certain that you do, then we have got on is it the 6th of September? When is
week tomorrow?
A week tomorrow then. So that would be the 7th or 8th of September actually.
The 8th.
Yeah, 8th of September will be EERC touring cars in Imola, won't it?
Yep.
And then we'll have the EERC endurance race, which is actually going to be there are a lot of classes that can be wrapped up potentially around early before the 24 hours of Bahrain, and that is about 6 or 7 days after the touring car race, isn't it?
So that is the 17th, I think.
17th, yeah. Okay, there we go. So about 9 days later.
And then we got London on the 14th.
Yeah, there we go. So plenty to look forward to in September if you want your EERC fix of action. But we saw a great display in Berlin. But it was James Guber who drew first blood this season, and House Sonoval, the reigning champion, had to settle for second best. Will that be the case state of affairs in London? We'll have to see who can get on top at the Excel Centre. But from Berlin, from myself, from Nick Homewood, and everyone here at EERC, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye, and we'll see you next time in London. Bye for now.